I'm going to go over the instructions for using and being able to focus a microscope. So the first thing we're going to do when we adjust our microscope is we're going to pick it up and move it to the direction we need. We never want to drag the microscope across the counter because inside the light bulbs have these filaments, and what happens when you drag it, you can actually break those filaments. So you always want to be very aware when you're picking it up and moving it. When you move it to the edge of the counter, you want to be able to sit in such a way where you're sitting right up to it. If I had this way over there, I'd have to lean over and you're going to be bothering your back and your shoulders. So ergonomically, you want it so you're just sitting straight up looking into your oculars. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to plug it in. I'm going to take our slide and I'm going to slide the slide on the stage. I'm going to slide the stage all the way using our coarse focus adjustment. We're going to move the slide all the way to the top. Now you will note our 40x objectives have these finger cuts on them, and what that does is protects the 40x. If I forget and I run my 40x through the oil, they get really gross really quickly, and they're not meant to be used with oil. If you remember, they're called a high dry objective. So because of that, we keep the finger cuts over that to protect it. So what we're going to be doing today is a 10x to 100x. We're not going to be using the 40x, so we're just going to leave that in place. In the next video, when I talk about looking at unstained specimens such as urines, we're going to have to take that off because we're going to use the 40x. So every time you turn off a microscope, you have the light switch turned all the way down, because we don't want the light switch all the way on, because when we turn it on, you could blow the bulb. So we have the light switches all the way down. I'm going to turn the power on, and I'm going to slowly take the light up about halfway or so until we get to where we're focusing. One thing you're going to notice is my diaphragm is wide open and my condenser is all the way up. So then I'm going to start by looking in, and this is a little bright, so I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. I do have the slide on the sage in such a place that when I do start looking, I am looking at slides. I'm definitely not in the right area of what I'm going to be looking at, but I can actually see cells on the slide. So then my left hand, you can't see it over here, but it is on the coarse focus knob. My right hand sits on my stage adjuster. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to jiggle my stage adjuster while I slowly move the coarse focus. The reason that I'm moving the stage adjuster like I am is that when you get to it, you'll actually start seeing things move. You'll see the cells on the slide move, so it's easier not to miss and go too far too fast. So I get to the point where I'm going to look at the correct field, which when you talk to your instructors with what you're looking at, I have just a normal blood smear on this slide. So I'm going to adjust the stage to the point where I'm going to be looking at the smear. I'm going to adjust my light at this point. So you notice I'm sitting and looking straight in. I'm not leaning over, I'm not reaching, I'm not, everything is very ergonomic. So I'm going to adjust my light, because not only do you not want to be leaning and looking into your microscope and hurting your neck and your shoulders, you also want to be aware that too much intense light is going to cause headaches and problems with your eyes. You don't want eye strain and eye fatigue, so you want to adjust your light to where it needs to be. So now I am on my 10x objective, and remember you got a 10x objective plus my 10x oculars, so I have 100 times viewing power, and I'm going to do whatever I'm going to do at the 10x, which for most things isn't going to be a lot. We're not going to be doing a lot with counting cells and things like that. Now what I'm going to do is find a cell, and I'm going to put it right smack dab in the middle of my field. Once it's smack dab in the middle of my field, I am going to use the ring on the objectives. Never grab the objectives and crank on your objectives. I'm going to use the ring on my objectives to move it away. I'm going to grab my oil, put a small drop of oil right on the spot that the light is coming through. And because I put that cell in the middle, when I go to my 100x objective, I should be able to use just my fine focus at this point. And I'm going to just slightly move my fine focus until I get to the cells that I'm looking for. And there it is. So I am now looking at my 100x objective, and I can slide around and do my cell differential or whatever else I might be looking for when I'm looking through this microscope. When you are done with the microscope, you are going to find, we keep it right here in our drawers, our lens paper and our lens cleaner. We do not ever use chem wipes on the microscopes. Put those away. You want to grab your lens paper, tear a piece of your lens paper off, drop your stage, turn your light all the way down before you shut your power off. You can take this slide off, and you're going to use the lens paper now to wipe off your 100x objective and get that oil off of there. If it's really gross and really dirty, you can use your lens cleaner also. Most of the time, you just need to use your dry lens paper and wipe it. Turn your objectives to the back. As I said, we drop the stage all the way down. We're going to unplug it, wrap the cord, pick it up, and slide it back to where it was. That is how you use the microscope when you're focusing. If you have any questions, be sure to reach out to your instructor.